From translation, TLB, the Living Bible. This 306th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Luke 21 to 22. Luke chapter 21, verses 1 to 38. Jesus watched the rich people drop their gifts into the collection box. Then he saw a poor widow drop in 2 pennies. I tell you truly, he said, this poor widow has put in more than all the others, for they gave out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, put in all that she had to live on. As Jesus was leaving the temple, one of his disciples remarked, "Teacher, look how massive these stones are, and how magnificently built are these buildings." Jesus replied, "You are going to see a lot of this. Not one stone will be left standing upon another, it will all be torn down." Some of the disciples asked, "Teacher, when will all this happen, and what will be the sign that it is about to take place?" Jesus said, "Be careful not to be deceived. Many will come in my name claiming to be the Messiah, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and revolutions, but don't be frightened. These things must happen first, but the end won't come immediately. Before all this happens, Jesus said, you will be arrested, persecuted, and imprisoned. You will be beaten in the synagogues and brought before kings and governors because of me. This will be your opportunity to tell them about me. So make up your minds now not to worry about what you will say. For I will give you such wisdom and eloquence that none of your opponents will be able to refute or contradict what you say. You will be betrayed even by parents, brothers, relatives, and friends. Some of you will be put to death, and everyone will hate you because you are mine, but not a hair on your head will perish. By standing firm, you will win your souls. When you see armies surrounding Jerusalem, then you will know that her time has come. Then those in Judea should flee to the mountains. Let those in the city get out, and let those in the country not go into it. This will be the time of God's punishment, and all these things will happen. Jerusalem will be trampled down by the Gentiles until the period of the Gentiles is fulfilled. There will be strange signs in the sun, moon, and stars. The nations of the world will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and tides. People will be fainting with fear, apprehensive of what is coming upon the world. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with great power and glory. When these things begin to happen, stand up straight and hold your heads high, because your time of redemption is near. Then he gave them this illustration. Look at the fig tree and all the other trees. When they sprout leaves, you know summer is near. Each day Jesus taught in the temple, but every evening he went out to the Mount of Olives to stay overnight. And all next morning people came to him in the temple to listen to his teaching. Meanwhile, the time came for the Passover celebration, and it was customary for the Jewish leaders to kill the Passover lambs, but they were afraid of the people. Then Satan entered into Judas Iscariot, who was one of the 12 disciples. Judas went to the leading priests and captains of the temple guard and asked, "What will you give me if I betray Jesus to you?" They agreed to give him 30 silver coins. So Judas began looking for a good opportunity to betray Jesus when the crowds weren't around. The day came for the Passover meal, and Jesus sent Peter and John ahead with these instructions. "Go into the city, and a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you. Follow him to the house he enters and say to its owner, 'The teacher asks, where is the guest room where I can eat the Passover meal with my disciples?'" When the time came, Jesus and the apostles sat down at the table. Jesus said, "I have been so eager to eat this Passover meal with you before my suffering begins. For I tell you, I won't eat it again until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God." Then he took a cup of wine and gave thanks to God for it. Then he said, "Take this and share it among yourselves, for I will not drink wine again until the kingdom of God comes." Then he took a loaf of bread, gave thanks to God for it, broke it, and gave it to them. "This is my body," he said, "which is being given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." He did the same with the cup of wine after supper, saying, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for you." They began to argue among themselves about who would be the one to betray him. Then the disciples began to argue about which one of them was the greatest. Jesus said, "In this world the kings and great men lord it over their people, but you are not to be like that. Instead, the greatest among you should be like the youngest, and the leader should be like one who serves." Then Jesus said, "Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to test you all, like wheat is sifted. But I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith will not fail, and when you have turned back to me, help the others." Peter said, "Lord, I am ready to go to prison and even to die for you." But Jesus said, "Peter, I tell you this, before the rooster crows tomorrow morning, you will deny 3 times that even know me." Then Jesus asked them, "When I sent you out without even a purse, a bag, or sandals, did you lack anything?" They answered, "No, nothing." Then Jesus said, "But now if you have a purse, take it, and if you have a bag, take it, and if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. For I will fulfill the prophecy that says, 'He was counted among the criminals.'" They said, "Look, Lord, here are 2 swords." And Jesus said, "That is enough." Luke chapter 22, verses 1 to 28. Then Jesus went out as usual to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him. There he said to them, "Pray that you won't fall into temptation." He went about a stone's throw beyond them, knelt down, and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, please take this cup of suffering away from me, but I want your will, not mine." Then an angel from heaven appeared to strengthen him. He prayed more earnestly, and his sweat became like great drops of blood falling to the ground. When he rose from prayer and went back to the disciples, he found them asleep, exhausted from grief. "Why are you sleeping?" he asked them. "Get up and pray so that you won't fall into temptation." While he was still speaking, a crowd came up, led by Judas, one of the 12 disciples. Judas approached Jesus to kiss him, but Jesus said, "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" When Jesus' disciples saw what was happening, they said, "Lord, should we use our swords?" Then Peter struck the high priest's servant, Malchus, cutting off his right ear. But Jesus said, "No more of this," and he touched the man's ear and healed him. Then Jesus said to the priests and the temple guards and the leaders who had come to arrest him, "Have you come out with swords and clubs as if I were some dangerous criminal? I was with you every day in the temple, but you didn't lay hands on me." Then they arrested Jesus and took him away, and brought him into the high priest's house. Peter followed at a distance, and so did another disciple who was a friend of the high priest. This disciple went in with Jesus into the high priest's courtyard, but Peter had to wait outside at the door. So the other disciple, who was a friend of the high priest, went out and spoke to the girl on duty at the door, and brought Peter in. The servant girl at the door said to Peter, "Aren't you also one of this man's disciples?" He replied, "No, I'm not." Then he went out to the gateway where another servant girl saw him and said to the others, "This man was with Jesus of Nazareth." But again Peter denied it with an oath, "I don't even know the man." A little later some bystanders said to Peter, "You certainly are one of them, for you are a Galilean." Peter began to curse and swear, "I don't know the man." And at that moment the rooster crowed. Then the Lord turned and looked straight at Peter. And Peter remembered what the Lord had said to him, "Before the rooster crows tomorrow morning, you will deny 3 times that you even know me." Then Peter went outside and wept bitterly. The guards who had arrested Jesus began making fun of him and beating him. They blindfolded him and said, "Prophesy, who hit you?" They also spat on him and struck him with their fists. They mocked him, saying, "If you are the Messiah, the King of the Jews, save yourself." At daybreak the leaders of the people and the leading priests and teachers of religious law gathered together, and Jesus was brought before them. They all shouted, "Then you are the Son of God." And he replied, "You say it is so." Then they said, "Why do we need other witnesses? We ourselves heard it from his own lips."